Live.
We should be live.
Should be. We might be live. We are live.
Cool. We are live. Okay, so welcome to episode 50 of Live at Epiphan. It's Thursday at not 3 o'clock. It is 3:15, and there's a good reason for that.
We have some stories to tell.
Yeah, so things might look a little interesting. As you can see, we are sitting in a vehicle, which seems a little odd. Why are we in a vehicle?
Well, we wanted to take the show on the road, right? It's so popular.
We wanted to make the show as complicated as possible to set up for our 50th episode. So we put all of our equipment in this car everywhere.
We have a microphone. We have GoPros. We have multiple camera angles.
We have about 4 phones chatting with different messaging services going on.
See
we have windshield wipers.
Beautiful front view of the vehicle. And so what was our original plan with this?
Well, the plan is, since it's 50 episodes, we want to try to push the boundaries a bit, right? We can't just rest on our laurels. We have to try to see how far we can take this show and try to explore the boundaries of what the techno, a Pearl 2 running off of a power inverter in the back. Yeah. And the idea, what we wanted to do was give everyone a tour of the city, maybe drive past some landmarks and whatnot.
That didn't quite work out the way we hoped. So, sorry to disappoint all of our viewers. We actually had this great route planned in downtown Ottawa. You were going to get to see that.
We'll give you a little tour, though. We'll do a little drive around our neighborhood where our office is.
Yeah.
So,
but
not
we'll
all
preface that with the reason why we gave up on downtown was, although we have a fairly large mobile hotspot LTE router, we could not maintain a stable connection. Even in one of the hottest areas of the city, surrounded by towers, not moving, we were still getting interruptions. And part of this, pushing the boundaries, was to experiment and see what happens when we try. And I think the lesson we've learned, following up on last week's episode, talking about bonding, is relying on a single connection.
It's hard.
Even if when I run a speed test through this LTE, I'm getting 30, 35 meg up, it doesn't matter. If you get an interruption or you hop towers, you're cut off. And that obviously is not what we want.
So, do you think it would be possible if we used a network bonding solution with like 3 different carriers? Do you think it would work? We were talking about that last week.
Yeah, and it should. That's the theory. But I also think that because it should load balance, because it has simultaneous connections to those. So something like a Mushroom Networks box should load balance between them and make sure that we maintain a stable signal. However, I'd like to test it, and I think the other thing, we were talking last week, for those of you who remember, about using that packet combination might work pretty well.
So the idea being that you have 3 different carriers, maybe one of the carriers drops for a second or 2 seconds, while the packets from your other 2 can be reinserted into the
100th episode.
Yeah, and
cellular bonding. Get ready.
Right now, we're sitting in the parking lot because we've been finding that just depending on where you are and if you're moving around.
It also happens to be a snowstorm today.
That doesn't help.
So, not helping.
Doesn't help.
Now, George is here on the laptop, so he can monitor chat. So if you do if you do want to chat with us, you can.
Provided our LTE connection stays up.
Yeah.
I am monitoring primarily YouTube chat.
And you're also switching, right? So
I am doing switching.
Why don't we show off the switching a bit?
So I've done that a little bit. I was going back and forth between our sort of main inside camera and our other camera shooting outwards.
Try to get our roving camera here.
Yeah, we also had George using a free cam at the same time. And again, that was our goal to play the tourist thing, was to give you guys some great shots.
We were going to show you the Parliament buildings in Ottawa, which are really beautiful, but instead we'll show you our office building.
Yeah, instead you get to see Epiphan HQ.
It's not beautiful, but very effective.
So another part of today is we've always talked about bandwidth. So one of the other experiments today was to experiment with YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So we can kind of take a look at a little bit of that.
Yeah, we took some screenshots.
Yeah, we took some screenshots of some of the dashboard you might see with Switchboard. So you get a preview like you do with a lot of streaming services, and then you can configure different destinations. So with this account level in Switchboard, we can do up to 5 destinations.
I think so, yeah. 5 destinations.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
And then I'm sure if you paid a little bit more, or upgraded your account, you could
Right.
probably do one workflow that sends to these 4 CDNs, one workflow that sends to these
Is it
other
all
4.
RTMP based streaming, or are they connected through the API of the
Both.
platforms?
It actually does both. So some of it is API, or you can use custom RTMP. Generally with any of these, and this actually plays into probably one of our number one questions we get on webcasters. Can we stream to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously? We always say no, and there's multiple reasons for it, but the biggest one is when you use Facebook's streaming API, it is a violation of the Facebook terms of service
And we follow the rules.
to stream to any other platform. Switchboard is no different. If you use Switchboard and you use the Facebook API,
is that right?
you cannot simultaneously use the
Okay.
YouTube API.
And so why do you think Facebook has that? They want it to be the
They
content
want
that you
exclusivity.
the content that in order to use Facebook Live, they want to be the exclusive purveyor of that content.
Right.
Which makes sense if you're
Yeah.
at Facebook.
If you're using generic RTMP push the way Pearl does, then it doesn't matter. Then you don't have restrictions.
Well, you're still breaking the terms of service. It's just
No, you're not, because it's part of the API agreement.
Yeah, it's
part
part of the
of
API
the
agreement.
streaming setup, but we also have other stuff. We have a giveaway.
That's right. So we're running a contest. We wanted to give away a Webcaster X2 since it's our 50th episode. We have lots of people who have been with us for
Yes.
many of those first 49 episodes. So we wanted to give you guys, the viewers, a chance to win a Webcaster X2. And actually, I have here on my phone an email with the Gleam contest winner. Let me just check.
I don't have a drum to give a drum roll, but
We will get in touch with you, and we will be sending
And
you.
thanks to everybody who entered the contest.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who entered the contest. We're going to have more contests, so
yeah, we
you
got
know,
a lot of response on this one. It
We
was
did.
fantastic.
Well, it goes into one of the other things we wanted to do on this show was obviously do the super complex setup and try to drive around. We wanted to show off the bright lights of Ottawa. We wanted to give away the Webcaster, but we also wanted to talk a little bit about our first 50 episodes and what has resonated with people. And obviously the one of the biggest ones, which was the Webcaster. It seems like this show attracts people who want to talk about Webcaster and all the things you can do with it.
yeah, whenever we talk about Webcaster, it seems there's a lot of engagement on
Absolutely,
on
yeah.
the streams, and we typically, when I look at the analytics, our viewership numbers are a little higher whenever we talk about Webcaster.
Yeah, and they seem to like it when we try to do goofy things with the Webcaster. So when we went out on the road, like we're doing right now, that always gets a lot of views. So that was a really popular topic. George, what do you think? Do you remember any really popular topics that got people going, at least from your end of thing? Because you talk to customers
Yeah.
more than Dan and I do. So
I'll be honest. I actually don't really look at the show analytics. I just
you're a purist.
Yeah,
that way,
I
right?
just do the selfies with the fans. I don't really do the analytics side.
One of my
but
favorite
it's-
episodes was
Your
that.
victory.
Well, of course. But I also think we want to do more competitions like that.
Yeah.
So
So
we
just to
always ask.
explain it, for those of you who maybe didn't see that episode, we decided to see who could get a live stream up and running in like 3 minutes and 20.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
And then he
And
danced around the office.
It could have been
and it was-
15 seconds.
You could have done it faster.
You know, I have the trophy on my desk. It's,
yeah.
So Scott Burrow was just asking in YouTube chat who won. He's getting some stream interruptions. Sorry, Scott. Hopefully we'll repeat it one more time.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously, we can post that. Hopefully one of the people just over there in the office maybe they'll put that in chat for me so I don't have to try and type it out. But yeah.
The winner as selected was Alesia Henley. So Alesia, congratulations on your Webcaster X2. And to everybody else, stay tuned with Epiphan because we're going to be doing more contests in the future, so there will be more opportunities as well.
Should we do a drive around?
We're going to try.
Yeah, we're going to try to take a little
I think
tour.
that's the business out of the way, right? We've kind of explained what
Yeah.
we're doing. I'm going to chalk this up as a failure, but failure means learning. So this just means next
Yes.
time we try something completely crazy, it won't be snowing. I'll do some experiments on. If you guys love these show things, on the road kind of shows, let us know. We enjoy doing them. It gets us out of the office, and so let us know any ideas you might have.
We're going to be at NAB, and we're going to try another. We're going to do a bunch of other live streaming shows like we always do there. But we also have a trick up our sleeve for how to get
Try to do it a little different.
some something other than cellular bonding, which we're going to experiment with to see if we can get a more resilient stream over mobile. So
Yes.
we'll dig into that. It'll be another experiment for us.
Yeah. So anyone planning on attending NAB, we're NAB and would like some assistance with it, come by the Epiphan booth and maybe we can help you out with hooking up to one of our webcasters.
Yeah, we're going to be set up there on a kind of a permanent basis,
Exactly.
doing live shows, and we're encouraging anybody who wants to go live to your channel, whether it's a Facebook channel or a YouTube channel, come by and we'll set it up in like 5 minutes and get you live. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we do a little tour? I mean, I think we're probably getting some stream interruptions.
We're getting a lot. A lot of people on YouTube are mentioning we're getting some interruptions, and I apologize for that, guys. It's it seems like today Facebook is the overall winner. It seems to be staying
Facebook's
more
doing pretty well. It seems
stable,
like.
and I don't know why that is. Again, this is a big experiment. For those who are just tuning in, some people are commenting. Benson's asking, what is our setup for today's live show? We're sitting in a car in a parking lot with some cameras, and we're using a 4G LTE router modem and a Pearl 2
Pearl beside me in the seat,
running the show.
Yeah.
The major
Blue Yeti mic.
Blue Yeti mic running into the Pearl, 2 GoPros and a free cam. The main thing I'm fairly confident in Switchboard, but we'll have to see. These are both experiments. This is a double experiment.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the good thing is that when we push the boundaries like this, we usually learn from that, and we hopefully will be able to find solutions. So,
Well, not just for us, but for our product line.
exactly. Yeah.
exactly. We want to help you guys, and if we can take the risk and fall on our faces, then we can learn something to share with you guys, and hopefully you don't have to take the risk that way.
And make sure, if you haven't seen it, check out last week's episode of Live at Epiphan where we talk about network bonding.
And why it may be relevant at times.
And really, like, it would be great if we had a network bonding solution to have tested for this episode. Unfortunately, we didn't, but in the future, we're definitely going to be trying to do that. So.
Absolutely. So we're going to try and gamble to cap off the show.
Sure.
We're going to try and go get a coffee at Timmy's down the road and see what
as well.
Yeah,
do
okay.
some little.
out our free cam here. George in the back seat running that. We'll try and get a little bit of a tour. For those of you who don't get snow, welcome. Oh, no, there it goes. Restarted just now.
We're back for a moment.
I just switched this back to the other view so I can give my arm a break.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm even losing connection.
You're using
Pearl
connection
in my-
locally.
in
You're
my
not even-
switcher. That's
Yeah.
just through the Wi-Fi. So I think part of this is me blaming that router. That's the conclusion I'm coming to.
Well, it's probably not the strongest modem.
No,
It doesn't
but-
even have like any big antennas on it or anything.
No, but even that local Wi-Fi seems to be cutting in and out occasionally.
Yeah.
And I would anticipate that to be more stable than. And I only know that because the laptop I'm using is on Wi-Fi to the router, where Pearl's on Ethernet. So it's interesting. So again, I apologize to everyone who's seeing these interruptions, but
So another thing we need to experiment with is the see how resilient different modems are for doing this mobile stuff. Because we've had great success when we've used our phones as mobile hotspots, and we're
not
finding
moving though. We've always done that
No, no.
fairly static in terms of not in transit necessarily.
Well, yeah, not in a car, but we've
when
been
George and
walking
I
around
were
with
at Carp Fair, we were walking around, we were going on
Yeah.
rides, and
Yeah.
car, maybe that's generating more interference.
Yeah.
That's possible. So maybe my idea of bolting the router to the roof isn't so crazy after
yeah.
all.
We have a sunroof. I could just stick my hand out the roof, guys. Come on. A little snow.
Should we go to our front-facing camera as well when we go in this
We
drive?
are on the front facing right now.
Okay, cool.
So-
Front facing meaning the outdoor camera?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Or yeah, sorry, we're on the inside. Let's
Dash cam.
Let's do the road. We're going to switch to the road. Oh, maybe.
And it's like almost line of sight or something.
So we're kind of back up, I think, temporarily. At least it looks like it on Facebook.
On Facebook?
So that should be back up. So yeah, sorry guys, there have been lots of data drops and interruptions. That was the big experiment. That was the big gamble. Sitting in our office, we don't have interruptions with this modem. So it's definitely a combination of the movement, the car, something. So there's a few things that we've learned today, and that was the idea. So, thanks for joining us on this experiment. I think that we've learned some things, and once we figure out what it is exactly we've learned, we'll definitely share that in an upcoming episode to let you guys know what can be done to solve these things if you're going to try a mobile stream like this.
We've done
a
50
challenge.
shows. We can do 50 more, and we can figure all this stuff out.
Absolutely.
And we'll try stuff.
Yeah. So
I think we got to get our hands on some bonding equipment and
we do
put it through its paces.
Some bondage?
You could put it that way. I wouldn't, but but yes, we need to look at ways of ironing out some of these drops and signals, and do what we can.
Is there any questions that we haven't answered yet?
No, just a lot of people commenting about drops. So yeah, if there are any questions, of course, feel free to ask those. And haven't done it yet, but if we like it, I may start it later. If no one else does, I might start a forum thread specifically about this.
Mobile network. That's
If
a great
people
idea.
want to jump in on that and share their comments. See Victor saying it works better if you have a car with a built-in hotspot. Yeah, well, not all of us, have electric cars in Silicon Valley, Victor. So some of us have to deal with Fords.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for us today.
Thanks for watching the show.
Thanks, everyone, for 50 episodes. Cheers to the double-double, the most Canadian thing you can do in a snowstorm in Ottawa.
We stayed true to our roots.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. And definitely, I think, a forum post will contribute to, we'll talk about the gear we used in a little more detail. The Blue Yeti microphone, USB to Pearl 2. The 3 cameras, HDMI to Pearl 2. The LTE modem kind of let us down.
There's a couple of armloads of gear that came down to this car yesterday to set this up.
Yeah,
So.
we have more.
To be honest, it wasn't that hard to set this up.
No, it was pretty straightforward. Power inverter, something I've had kicking around my house for years. We have more to come on Switchboard, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
We're just getting started with Switchboard. We got some stuff to look at with them still. We just started playing with their stuff yesterday, so we'll see how that goes. Scott Burrow saying the sound is great. That was one of the things we were worried most about, and has worked out miraculously.
Yeah. Blue Yeti microphones are great.
Yeah, you know what?
We're all exactly 1 foot away from the mic.
One of the
which is
cool
kinda
things with this microphone is there's actually a dial on it that you can
Change
use
pattern.
to select your pickup pattern. So we set it to omnidirectional so that we get all of us, but if it was just George Herbert and I, we could have set like a figure 8 pattern so that we're not hearing what's happening in the back seat and we're not hearing what's happening up on the dashboard, maybe if we didn't want to hear the window wipers or something, right?
There was a question, we were using Pearl 2, would a Webcaster work better? I don't know. The reason we chose Pearl 2 was because we wanted to run 3 cameras without another switcher in play, and also to see whether or not we could power a Pearl 2 with an inverter. We're using a 300 watt inverter. It's capable of sustaining 240 watts at 2.1 amps, which is enough to run both Pearl and the LTE modem off of the one inverter.
Pearl 2 might be overkill. Like we could do quite a lot of this with just a Pearl Mini. So thinking
it's
ahead,
available.
That's coming out soon, and we'll want to try that stuff.
The other reason is that to push to Switchboard to redistribute.
Okay, well, I think that's probably it for today. For all of you who have stuck with us for the first 50 episodes, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It's great to see you guys week in, week out, and looking forward to the next 50. So until next week, Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern, I guess that's it for Live at Epiphan.
Thanks for joining us on the Chaos Ride.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Did you yank the power?